Man, oh man, oh man. Late, late, late. But of course, I got a good reason. Man, family, I've been listening to this book. Ended up sitting up late last night listening to the book. And I'm excited about getting to the end of the book. It's called The Ancient Nine by Ian Smith, a graduate of Harvard who was a black graduate of Harvard that was allowed into a secret society on that campus called the Delphic. You know what I'm saying? And it has some very interesting ideas that I'm wrestling with, that I'm working with, and I woke up late, so I didn't have time really to do the toast. So I went over and I did the Divine Conversations, and it was a beautiful conversation. Those that got the black signal, which should be coming out in a couple of seconds, you will see the picture of some of the people that was gathered, and the room was nice. The vibe was good, and we was talking about the principle of Kuumba, creativity, and how we can use creativity to move our struggle forward, right? And it was a beautiful conversation, but I'm amped about getting back to the book. But of course, we got to give our due to who deserves our due. And of course, it's a little bit late. Usually I try not to do it after 12, but I believe that this was a good reason. It's a nice lazy Imani, and I do owe 7 push-ups because I did use the day of the week. Because when you place a name on something, you take ownership of it. And one of the things we try to do in Gye-Nyame is we're taking ownership. We're taking ownership of the days of the week. We're taking ownership of the days of the week. Somebody's on the line, so obviously, somehow, I'm not on the line. I don't understand. Somebody there? Huh. So I don't understand. Somebody's on the line, and I'm not there. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully they can hear me. Can you hear me? Check 1. Nope. It's not doing anything. So let me go and make some changes here. I'm going to have to hang up the line and try to call back in. All right, cool. All right, cool. There you go. All right, somebody's waiting. Continue waiting on the line if you're still there. I'm going to cancel ending the call. I want to see what's going on first before I do that. My daughter's got their hair done, so of course they're going to try to show off and get everybody to see it. So I'm going to end this conference call. Well, hold on. I'm going to leave this conference. I'm going to end it, and I'm going to call back in. So they still there, so I call back in and see what's going on. Check 1, check 2, check 3. There we go. So I'm back on the line. I'm back there.
You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
So whoever was on the line, feel free to call back in because it should be working. And my device tells me that I'm working. Let me see. Let me play a test. Yep, it's working. It's working. Use these settings. So I don't know what's going on, family. I don't know. It might be a conspiracy. But who cares, Let me open up the chat on Reneo. I got another device that I'm placing an order for that will make this whole idea of streaming on multiple platforms, including Instagram, a reality. I may have to invest and get me another phone, a phone just for broadcasting, and another phone that I could use so that I could make sure that I'm streaming. Because right now, according to Remio, we are streaming strong on Facebook, Periscope, Stream.me. It's not showing anything for YouTube yet, so we're doing good. So, I'm opening up the lines for conversation. We could go into the Proverbs if anybody would feel like it. But of course, we got to go and do what we came here to do. First off, family, I want to welcome you to the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I guess you get kind of nervous when my daughter's around, right? So, Anime, I'm going to let you go on that one. And this is a Heart of Summer production. And right now, we are on a Daily Toast. And it appears that you've been into your mama's perfume. You're not going to lie to me right now. You're not. Yes or no? No. So who been in the perfume? I don't see Gina down here. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Gina! Come hither. You come here too. Come closer. Come closer. I smell it on you. So I ask you again. You been in your mama's perfume? Huh? I can't hear you. Yes. Because everybody heard you tell a lie, so everybody need to hear you tell the truth. Get your butt over there. Come here. I ain't even smell nothing on her.
This call is being recorded.
Get over there and sit down and finish eating. I'll take care of you after the show. Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Somebody on the line. Who on the line with us?
It's another Crazy Low.
What's up, Crazy Low? How you doing this morning? Sitting up here handling real life with the babies.
I'm getting myself back centered, man. I made a peculiar decision today that I'm recovering from.
A peculiar? You need some help, or you satisfied with the decision?
Nah, it's done now. I decided to go to church.
Oh.
It was an interesting church that I felt compelled to go to, and I went and instantly, I don't want to say regretted it, but something like regrets cousin.
All right. What about the lesson?
Mama or something.
How about the lesson? How was the lesson?
The lesson was good. The lesson was interesting. Like the little praise and worship section part had me a little bit like they be doing too much emotional stuff, and like my emotions don't work like that. Like I was getting like kind of upset, and people was it was getting under my skin, so I had to walk out for that part.
So it did.
But the message was.
So it did get you. So it did move your emotions.
It moved my emotions. It moved me to like I needed some boxing gloves. I needed to get some frustration out. Like,
but what I'm saying.
For other people, maybe that's a release of frustration, but for me, it was the congregation of the frustration.
Right. But the whole piece was to emote emotions, regardless of we think that a lot of times people want to emote just positive emotions, but sometimes those fighting emotions, you know what I'm saying? Those fighting emotions is what you want to release. Now, maybe that wasn't what the goal was, but they did touch your emotions in a certain way, so it worked. You know what I'm saying? We got to when we get into these systems, we got to understand the reasons behind those things. So the praise and worship is to move the emotions, to get people ready to receive the message. It'll and for you, the warrior dance, you know what I'm saying, is an emotional thing. It prepares you for battle, which you did go out and you had to go and take a break and come back in. You was able and to receive whatever the teacher had for you. So I'm quite sure they don't want to be having a fight club up in church, but there's a segment of our population that when you hear some of that stuff and you see some of the stuff going on, and you perceive it as manipulation, when other people perceive it as liberation. And you like, damn, they're not there, boom, boom, boom. It'll raise those emotions up in you. And what you have to do is start dealing and learning to deal with the emotions. That's what emotive rituals are about. They're going to bring out different emotions in different people, and different people have to deal with them in a different way. You probably wasn't the only one that had to get up and walk out. You know what I'm saying? Some people were just too embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? You still got the roughness about you. So you haven't mastered the unnecessary skill for us, but a necessary skill in this society to mask how you feel. So some people might have felt like you felt, but didn't have the courage to get up and walk out because I'm concerned about how everybody will look at me. You understand what I'm saying? So it did work. Shouts out to Miss Deanna Wilkinson. Thank you for joining us. So, like I said, man, so, what was the message?
He was talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I don't know if I said it right. The three dudes that got through in the fire, and he was basically talking about like walking in your purpose, and it was pretty interesting actually because I mean you know how we tend to look at things and abstract. We have trained ourselves to abstract different made purpose or even try to find connections with people and maybe a different way of but still having the same underlying thing. What I was doing, that was kind of what my focus was. Ultimately talking about being in touch with your subconscious and allowing the power of the ultimate the ultimate intelligence of existence to operate through you, operate through us. That was kind of my interpretation of what he was saying. And I kind of also was comparing it to this book I've been reading. It was talking about how a lot of people have kind of been manipulated by these systems and have the very systems that are supposed to be teaching people how to utilize that power are teaching people how to be controlled by everything but that power, and I kind of wrestle with that. I don't know. I guess I'm talking more about my interpretation than the message, but yeah, I think the message was about.
Well, the message was for you.
Living.
You understand what I'm saying? Every time for example, when I watch a movie, the movie is specifically for me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a message specifically for me. When I go and I listen to a pastor, I take it as the message is specifically for me. You're taking ownership. In a sense, you're practicing what he's talking about, having a purpose. You went to church on purpose. It wasn't an accidental thing. You made a conscious decision to be somewhere that you know that in some form or fashion you might feel uncomfortable. And that's what having a purpose is all about. And that's what a lot of us got to understand. See, purpose isn't something that you stumble into. You know what I'm saying? You can stumble upon your purpose. But once you start your purpose, it has to be a driven, for lack of a better term, purposeful movement. You know what I'm saying? So you are on a certain journey. You haven't necessarily decided to put a label on it as of yet, but you are on a specific journey, and I'm hoping that you're taking notes about your journey because one day, because we are the present day legends, you know what I'm saying? We are the legends in action, so we need to be able to leave the following generations a blueprint of what we went through so that if they want to mythologize what we're going through, they will have very little problem in doing so. They could take somebody right through your life because you left documentation for them to do that. Hence, we have the Daily Toast. Hence, we have Folk Tales for Grown Folk. Hence, We have tribal quotes, hints. We have Gye-Nyame warrior training, which you were supposed to cook us a meal and show up, but I ain't gonna throw that all up on you right now.
When was that? My bad. That was today?
That was yesterday. So you got another 2 weeks, because we do have a small budget from some of the money that we're raising and dues that's being paid, so that we can start. We want to make sure that if we're going to keep these young people from almost 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock every other week, for young people and adults that come through, we want to make sure that we are able to provide them with a meal. And rather than pay money to others, it would be beneficial for us to do it ourselves. Which means that, once again, like with Miss Deanna on here, you know what I'm saying, I'm having these meetings every 2 weeks. They have order forms, so I'm going to have to go and start making sure that we at least have salad that we have made. And I would love for the food to be prepared by someone in our village, somebody in our tribe, using some of the foods that we could put our hands on, and maybe even doing a class on, for our young people, being able to take very little and make a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of our kids are approaching that age.
Man, I blew it yesterday, because I ended up cooking a bunch of food yesterday. I took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook. It was all vegetables too.
I seen it, and I ain't say nothing. But like I said, my piece was I sent out that message, but it was my fault because I didn't send it out earlier in the week, and I canceled the show for Ujamaa. And you probably would have called in then, and I could have reminded you. But the class yesterday, a lot of stuff fell through. But one of the things that I have learned, and I make sure that those that's coming up behind me learn, is that sometimes we have to be able to be a jazz artist and be able to get up and do those random solos, because maybe the drum player might have fell off rhythm a little bit, and you might need to be able to match what he does. So when stuff start falling through, what I did was, boom, I went into Hatim mode. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So, man, yesterday's class, one of the things I was able to demonstrate for one of the elders that was there, because Brother Kwame was there, was one of the pieces that we're adding to our curriculum is this whole piece about anime. And, because, in Gye-Nyame, one of the key pieces is that we're trying to make people symbol literate. And the kids was like, what's that? And Brother Kwame came up with a term. He said, it's decodifying anime for black children. So we started off with Dragon Ball Super, of course. That's one of my favorites. But what really caught my interest was that I challenged the young people. I said, Brother Kwame is not familiar with Dragon Ball Super. Can y'all walk him through Dragon Ball Super? They said, well, you want us to start? You want us to start at Dragon Ball? You want us to start at Dragon Ball Z Kai or Dragon Ball GT? Or you want us to go just to Dragon Ball Super? So I had kids arguing about presenting their vision of this whole universe. And they did a pretty good job. And the piece is, how do we translate that information and plug them into what we are doing? You understand what I'm saying? Because, it's like, all them boys was like, after I showed the video, no. And, I got theories. There's 24 universes. What? It's 24 universes. I thought it was only 18. No, there's 24 universes. Boom, 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 boom. And the conversation was beautiful. And then being able to take that as an adult and plugging it back in to what they need to know as far as Gye-Nyame and what they need to know as black young men and young women in America is our task. You know what I'm saying? But somebody else entered on the line. What's going on? Join the conversation. Welcome to the Congregation of the Mighty. Who that?
Greetings, Brother Fred.
What's up, Brother Fred? So, we kind of starting off at a fast pace this morning, because Quasi shared where he went, and I want to remind everybody. I want to say great Imani to everybody, And for those that don't understand the language, we have decided to colonize the days of the week. You know what I'm saying? We taking them back. Because once you name something, you own it. And so one of the challenges we have is to start taking ownership of stuff. And another piece that we're going to be working on at the Warrior Training is getting our kids not only hyped about the anime and the stories, because it's nothing but legends and myths, is going and mythologizing, developing our own myth, of course starting with the story of G, and building up to where we are now. Getting our kids, creating our own universe, our own, in a sense, our own symbols. You know, plugging in ancient symbols, creating new symbols, creating new ways of thought, creating new powers for the heroes, and translating those powers to the realities of where we are and how we can be using these tools in order to battle what it is we are facing right now and today. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody got anything to share before we get into this, till we start toasting these ancestors? Oh, my fault. Shouts out to Anthony Nesbitt. He up there, he laughing. What you laughing at, Mr. Nesbitt? But go ahead.
No, I think that's a good thing. I think that will be a good literacy approach for writing and for reading and for imaginary purposes, that the kids not only write about the specific archaeological it's sort of like or anime or however, and do it African style or what have you, or even create new symbols and things like that, so it can broaden their imagination, so they can become writers and builders of imagination. And you never know, at some point, journalists and publishers and the whole work. So I think that's a good approach.
Now, I'm not only doing that for that. I'm doing that for this reason. If we look at history, what drove some of the great men of history?
The stories behind them.
The stories.
Their heroism.
Exactly. So if we look at Alexander the Macedonian, right? Alexander's goal was to become as great as Hercules and Achilles, which were two myths that were ingrained in him when he was young. If we look through some of our history, we'll see individuals striving to outdo some of the legends and some of the myths that came before them. So by getting our young people, as well as adults, involved in creating this alternate universe, what we start to do is to start to get certain qualities from that alternate universe spilling into our time period. Because once we get our kids understanding that they can write and they can create, what's going to stop them from doing like the fans of Star Trek? The writer of Star Trek who came up, like I said, the model I used is, I'm sitting here right now talking to y'all on this cell phone, but the original model of the cell phone was this mythological device that was created in a future scenario where Captain Kirk could call up to his ship and speak to everybody, and everybody carried these devices. You know what I'm saying? And that sparked the creativity of others, and said, "Damn,
Minota. That was actually the Minota symbol too."
Think about that.
It was actually the Minota symbol too. If you look at the original communicator, and you look at Minota's flip phone, you'd be like, "Damn."
So in warrior training, what we're now, and Mr. Nesbitt, I need to talk with you, because you know we gonna need some boxing at least once a month. You know, they got because I was having them punch that dummy yesterday, and family, I'm just saying, We got to get some combat up in this, cause boy, hey, for a group of individuals that be talking all this smack, man, a lot of these, hey, I'm just saying we got some work to do. But we have individuals in the community that can start adding to this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, if you just look at the stories that's being fed to our kids, and a lot of them are enjoying being involved in those universes. We give them an opportunity to start creating their own future. It starts in the mind. And we start our young people writing it, letting them know how great they are, and being able to translate some of the stuff that they're getting, some of the junk that they're getting, in a respectful way, and finding ways to pull out the lessons or even making the connections back to us. Because when you look at a lot of this anime, you start noticing a lot of our symbolism is up in there. We see a lot of our principles that's up in there.
Wise.
You say who?
That's a format for career tech education in schools. It definitely is a form of entrepreneurship and imagination that can go from the thought all the way to the product as well. So
exactly,
I'm like right there with you on that.
So, you know, and so then now we got Quasi, who I'm trying to push into preparing that food so that they could go on and have a real, you know, we had to do subs yesterday. And thank God we had enough money. I mean, thank God we got a small budget where we were able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then we had another opportunity that popped up during the warrior training where young people was able to get out there and in a sense raise a little bit of money so that we would be able to pay for meals in the future. I mean, it's turning on itself as we create and as we move forward. It's turning and is growing into something that is lively and beautiful. This is why I'm late, because like I said, another thing that I'm trying to also create. Shouts out to Al Marley for sharing. You know what I'm saying? Those that are on Facebook, you could share. You can also join the conversation. It's 614-556-4535. Right now we're having open talk. I'm talking about the warrior training, and you know, that's something that could be duplicated in different places. So if you're in different places or you're doing, I mean, because that's why we stick with the term tribe, right? Because as a tribe, you know what I'm saying? We could do more. And a tribe, it could be 100. We got enough. There's enough room in Columbus to have 100 to 1,000 tribes. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the body, you got the tribe of the eyes. You got the tribe of the nose. You got the tribe of the lungs. You got the tribe. I mean, the whole body is a conglomerate of tribes that's working together to form a universe or a nation of you. You know what I'm saying? And we have to understand that we might not understand everything that everybody is doing, but we have to be sure that they are all working towards not only our survival, but our ability to thrive. You understand? Because I mean, it's deeper than just bringing young people together and bringing older people together. It's deeper than just us coming and mentally masturbating. And let me demonstrate how smart I am. We got to give our young people to shine, the ability to shine where they are. Because once they really start looking into it and you start asking them questions and you allow them to become authorities of what they know, then you challenge them to move deeper into the study or whatever they're talking about, because when you ask questions that they can't answer, you know what I'm saying? Or you're like, boom, okay, why 24 universes rather than 18? Because Kwame brought up a point, and he kind of left it veiled for him. He said, it's interesting that they had 24 universes in Dragon Ball Super. It's interesting. Huh. 24? You say? And there's 24 heads of the 24 universes. And each one of those heads have an angel. And out of all those universes was created by one little funny looking dude by the name of Zeno. And so it's just mind-boggling. And you'll have people that will get on the internet and argue about their theories about this stuff. And my question is, you know what I'm saying? Where's this happening for us? Where's this happening for our youth? You know what I'm saying? Do we have the space on the medias that we're creating? And one of the things that I'm gonna strive to get these kids to do, or these young people, these children to do, as well as some of the old people like myself who like anime, is to get on and start having format or having roundtables where we discuss that stuff on a live platform like I'm doing exactly right here, right now, to see how many young people out there, how many old people out there might be comic book heads, might want to discuss, you know what I'm saying, what does Captain America mean to us? What does Superman mean to us? What does The Flash mean to us? What does this whole comic book piece mean to us historically? And what can we do with these characters? How can we discuss these characters in getting us up out of this situation that we are in? Because regardless of whether we want to deal with this or not, this is the mythology of the time, and it's the mythology that moves people forward. It's the stories that move people forward, not the facts. You lose our kids when we be coming with these goddamn facts, and that's it. We're the story behind the facts. How did you discover it? How did you pull out these secrets? What is the story behind it? Get me, you know what I'm saying? Get me excited about you coming in and talk, rather than you just sitting around here just trying to prove that you know some shit. Where's the story?
That segue. I used to do a lot of that in my classroom.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this. I did a lot of that in my classroom. The African American Cultural Arts Museum in Wilberforce, Ohio, has a huge display on black comics and comic books and the writers and people that had black people that had participation in publications of all sorts, but specifically in the area of comic books as well. I think that would be a great field trip for those comic book heads, kids and adults, to see, because Pam and I got a chance to see some history on what you just said, Hot 10. Where did it start? Who wanted to make sure the blacks were in media and was in comic strips and everything like that? And we got a chance to get a lot of those answers right there in the Cultural Arts Museum there in Wilberforce, Ohio.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Because like I said, we're missing a grand opportunity by ignoring some of this stuff. Because like, for example, how many of us have really sat down and talked with some of our young people about the music that they're listening to? Not just from the standpoint of that's filthy, that's some bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why do you like it? Let's explore these lyrics. What is it about these?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We understand that the beat carries it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if these lyrics can move you without that beat. You know what I'm saying? Can we discuss what's going on in the current state of hip hop? What does this have to do with where we are? See, because then you are able to pull a story. You're able to build a story back to the roots of this Sankofa thing called hip hop. Because that's what hip hop really is. Hip hop is Sankofa. See, because once again, this is one of the mythological things that came to life. Hip hop is Sankofa in action. Hip hop is Sankofa. A lot of us don't, because we get stuck in the way we're thinking. We can't really see how some of these things activate around us. Where's Gye-Nyame in our reality? You know what I'm saying? Where's Aquaben in our realities? Where's Sankofa in our realities? Where's Umoja in our reality? Where's Kuji Chagalia? This is what I'm saying. We have to begin to claim our portion of this universe and start expanding it and start taking over and colonizing some of the stuff that is being used against us. Period. Because we don't. I mean, because a lot of times we think we got to start from scratch. I want you to just think about this. If you never watched Dragon Ball and you go and watch it, or you watch Young Justice, or you watch any of these things that these young people are watching, can you pull out some of the principles in those? Can you connect one of the shows to any one of the principles? Can you extract?
Oh yes.
Can you extract culture out of there? Can you extract how we should see ourselves according to this image? What does this show say about politics? What does this show say about injustice? What does this show say about economics? What does this show? You know what I'm saying? Can you? And I'm telling you, it can be done. It just takes time and patience for you to be able to sit there and listen to them and then be like, yo, have you thought about this? Hell, and definitely you could plug it into the spirituality of life, spirituality. You know what I'm saying? But my spirituality is a little bit different than everybody else's. I don't want to hog it up no more. Go ahead, Mr. Cox, Brother Kwame, if you have something else to say, by all means share. Family, the lines are open, 614-556-4535, so we could jump off this conversation. I ain't even do the drink song yet. Drink your water. Drink your water. Take your breath and drink your water. Lift your glass and drink your water. Drink your water. Go ahead.
I'll segue into. I used to do a lot of that when it came to writing in my class, because I wanted the kids to open up the work done that I had assigned for them, and I knew that the only way that I could do that is that I get them to let me into their world. And so I used to do. I used to play Tupac, and we used to break down the lyrics all the way, whether or not you liked them or not, or whatever, and then we started talking about other lyrics and things like that. And we got into content, we got into reflection, we got into thought, we got into purviews and everything like that. And so then we got into the understanding of submitting your opinions and submitting facts, and be able to appreciate other people's opinions and so forth and so on. So we created a culture in that. And then once that was created, then we were able to do a number of different things, because now all the assignments weren't my assignments, it was theirs. It was something that they wanted to accomplish. So yeah, man, I've gotten into their world, but I found out the only way to get in them kids' world is that you open up yourself wide enough open to allow them to let you into their world. And then you get in their world and you don't judge their world, but you just start throwing out some perspectives. Then they want to know more about your perspectives, because then they can build upon that. And I've seen a lot of kids grow just in them allowing you to be in their world, because then you can allow them to be in your world, and they'd be willing to be in your world, and everybody can grow.
All right. So we have a teacher up in here that's saying that he's used these methods in family. I'm trying to tell you. Because like I said, we want to move them. We got to tell a story of their moving. Because listen, the first thing that I felt, the first thing that really got me into comic books and which eventually pushed me over to where I am now, is that I was held back in first grade. My mom refused to let me move any farther because she felt that I could not read. Now, I might have been able to pick up a few words, but she wasn't satisfied with the level of reading I was. And at first, I was heartbroken. But now I have to, I give praise to that woman, because she didn't allow nobody to tell her any different. Regardless of how family felt, regardless of how everybody felt, she's a Leo. She gonna do her thing, and she decided to hold me back. And one of the ways I improved my reading was with comic books. And what that opened up for me was a whole nother world. One, a world of vocabulary. Two, a world of putting stories together and being able to follow the pictures and read. And three, it plugged me in with other kids that was my same age reading the same. We would get together to talk about these comic books and debate why my favorite hero at the time, which was Vision, why my favorite hero will beat all theirs, and be able to come with, boom, 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 come with the facts, have discussions, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden they start talking about multi, you know what I'm saying? And expanded your mind, because now we're not only talking about this universe, but then all of the comic books all of a sudden start talking about time travel and multiple universes and universes on top of universes and universes collapsing. So then that brought me an interest in science. And then I started excelling at certain things, because certain things that people didn't know, I was able to answer in the classroom, because reading those books gave me the confidence. Now, do we have stuff out there like that for our young people? And yes, we do. Black Sans Comics, which I do support on Patreon, you know what I'm saying, every month does a very good comic that's based on Kemet and Nubia. You know what I'm saying? Dope ass comic books. If anybody is looking for comics for the young people around Christmas time, there you can support them on Patreon as well. And like I said, I'm thinking about creating a round table for our young people to be able to grab my mic, sit down, and talk about some of the stuff. Some of their favorite animes, comic book characters, comic book issues, and see what we could build off of this. Because like I said, man, the key word is narrative, story. The key word. What is the story of our people? And what is the future story of our people? And we have to understand, we have to start writing that now. We have to start creating those heroes now. So that one day, maybe in 3 years, a young person that just hitting 7 years old, having trouble reading, might stumble on one of our shows or stumble on one of these comic books and be like, I'm that character. And not only am I that character, I am going to move my people beyond this character, which has been happening historically. But once again, lines are open, 614-556-4535. Call in and share your experiences with working with young people. Call in and share a story that may have changed your life. Call in and share your experiences with comic books or even anime right now. How does this connect? How does this connect to the struggle we are currently in as a people? Quasi, you still online?
I'm here.
All right, now let me tell y'all this. Now, one of the things we did with Gye-Nyame is we started with our own myth. So when I started Gye-Nyame, I made a myth with Gye-Nyame. Do you know that myth, Quasi?
Yes, sir.
What's that myth? What is that?
Trouser G.
Now, so this is going to be one of the challenges for all the young people coming into Gye-Nyame and all the older people, because I tell every last one of them, in order for you to make it to certain levels, one of the first things you have to be able to do is write a book. You got to become an author, a creator of something. So one of the pieces I'm going to challenge my young people is we already got one mythic hero. What's to stop us from creating a whole universe around that mythic hero? Hell, if I'm correct, in Gye-Nyame, there's a mythic people. Am I right about that, Quasi?
No doubt. I mean, yeah, it's plenty of parallels. I mean, just across G's journey, he met other mythical civilizations and different people, and even mythical figures, he actually met the Phoenix. You know what I mean? So it's definitely. It's a lot there.
And
the entire universe.
And the young people love it. I had a young boy going to a sweat lodge. It was Dalen, as a matter of fact. Dalen came out the sweat lodge. He was like, brother, I saw G in the sweat lodge. I said, what? I saw G in the sweat lodge. I said, wow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, this was a regular part of what we did, but I'm like, I didn't know that it affected them in the way that it did. And the piece that I'm saying, family, we got to stress. Like yesterday was Kuumba, we got to stress our creativity and really start writing down. It ain't just about it ain't just about leaving stuff out there in imagination. It's about planting seeds that one day may grow. But before we go any further, family, we need to do this toast because people tuning in for the toast. For those who have ancestors that they want me to post up on the toast, by all means, feel free to type them in. I get the chat from a majority of the things on Restream. I am on Spreaker. You can type them in that way, and I will add them to our list. I just have to get my girls to come down here and find my pen because they always move my pens around. But for those that don't know, the Daily Toast is a show that usually happens earlier in the day, and every day we take time to salute our ancestors, our personal ancestors, right? So what we toasting on today is when I put this brew together, I had some autumn apples, and I love autumn apples, man. These apples only come out during this time of year, and I mixed them with a little ginger, and I put them in there, and they've been soaking for about 24 hours. And man, we about to sip on it. I'm gonna let y'all know how it's doing, because I'm gonna cheat. I took a little bit last night, just a sip, and it had already, within 24 hours, it had already started taking on the fragrance of the apples and the ginger, and because the bacteria and the yeast in this product is consuming the sugars, and when they consume the sugars, they kind of transform into that thing, which makes it a little bit more powerful. So what I'm drinking is called ambrosia. For those that's into myth, check out what ambrosia is. I'm not fucking around with this. So we're going to toast these ancestors. We're going to get this out the way so we can continue with the conversations. I want to send shots out to WBR.FM or WBRFM. They just sent me, you should apply to WRFM.com. We are presenters. We are after presenters to join us. Contact. So I'm going to go and look into that. If anybody out there right now, go and look up WBR. Let me know what they're about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to look at it afterwards because my computer's kind of crowded right now with this stuff, but I'm going to have to wait till after the show because I don't want to touch anything that might knock us off the rails. Right? So family, first, giving honor to the creator by whatever name you choose to call that creator. We call on that first source. We call on that potent center. We call on that divine force, that spark that runs through all of us. We lift up our glass and we salute it and we say, Ashe. Ooh, I can't wait. Hold on. All right, now we move to the stars of the show. We're going to toast our ancestors, our personal ancestors. Anybody have something they want to post up? I'm on my thing now. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. We're going to call a list. We got a list that's been formatted over the last, I think we're moving in on 2 years. You know, I've been researching my ancestors for a while. I don't have the total stories behind them, but those are coming. Somebody else on the line. Who else on the line? All right, here we go. Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia William Walter, Krista Fanny Gasson, Eileen, Uncle Chris, Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman L, Nomo X, Sapet Ma'ara, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Argini, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulliam, the Luxter brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Louis Henderson, Cameron Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Carolyn D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge, Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weller, Be the Farmer, I Go Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theodis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Linda Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, William Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thorne, Pearl G. Thorne, Nida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thorne, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mitchell Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mae Marsafield, Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, W. Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amatep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scannelberry, Wilson Hadley, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Lee Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Florence Evans, Pamela Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenball, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Thomas Bradley, Uncle Buki, Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Halper, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Voy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, June Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Kirstine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwillinan and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Kofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Mitch Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston, Lud Oz, Elijah Oz, Jerome Oz, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Oz, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bet Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan Phillips Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Linda Howard, Mazarine Cofer, George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael and Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Ann Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon, Delise Waters. Sending shots to our ancestors, keeping in mind that hell for African is being forgotten, and we strive never to forget those who were major impacts on our life. We pledge to pour for those who, in a sense, sacrificed so that we could be here today discussing what we're discussing. And that's what it's all about. We lift up our class and we salute those ancestors and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move into the present moment. The past is built upon what our ancestors and what our elders have laid before us. Now, our challenge is not just to complain and try to correct some of the things that our foundation is built upon, but laying a firm foundation upon which our children can erect their monuments to greatness, erect their monuments to their future generations. And that's where we are right now, family. The question is, are you doing as Kwesi brought up in his analysis of what the pastor put out? Are you living on purpose or are you living on accident? Because if you're living on purpose, family, you're moving towards freedom. If you're living on accident, you're moving towards, you are enslaved. Many of us wake up and we live our lives accidentally. I'm telling you that by embracing your culture and understanding your culture and taking command of the language like we do and calling the days what they are and what they mean to you, you throw yourself into a purpose that is helping build something for the future generations. Everybody don't have to understand you when you be like a Moja. You know, code switch if you need to, right? But I need y'all to understand that once you start doing it and you do what I'm doing right now, at any given time, any one of my children, whether they are related by blood or they are in Gye-Nyame, if they catch me using the regular days, unless I'm on a phone call talking to somebody as a total stranger, and even if they ask for them then, they get 7 push-ups from me. Because I'm letting them know I'm committed to this. I'm committed to your future. So I got kids around me all day trying to trick me. Brother, I tell him, what's the day? It's Nia. Damn. Brother Hatim, when we meet for the meetings? I mean, they be trying to catch me. Or when they catch me talking to somebody else, I'll be like, I was close with you, but I'll drop and I'll give you 7. Because my kids are embracing what we're doing. Go ahead. You got something you want to add, Kwesi?
I've just been a little stricter with my language. I mean, when you learn something new, if you don't incorporate it, then you didn't learn nothing at all. You know what I mean? I've always been, well, I ain't gonna say always, but since I come of age, I've been selective with my words. Even like now, you probably hear me kind of being thoughtful about the word I choose. I like to say the correct word, and if you know me and had a conversation with me, I might go back and start my entire sentence over if I don't like the way that, or if I could think of a better way to state what I'm thinking. That's what I want to do. I want to articulate myself. I want to express what's happening inside me. I want to put that energy into the atmosphere as powerfully as possible. So one of the things I've been realizing lately is just some of the vibrations, some of the words, some of the spells that we cast using these words that was imposed on us be creating some of the negative outcomes. Like, people say good morning. That's something that has been rubbing me wrong because the energies of the all don't between different meanings. It knows all of the different meanings. So morning, while we're supposed to be saying the beginning of the day, it also means a party after a funeral. So when people say good morning, it's a contradiction. And I noticed a lot of times people, when they say that, they let them tell us they still need their coffee. Or you see what I'm saying? They be in kind of like a bad mood, and it just don't hit me right. It don't resonate well with me. When it don't resonate, it puts me in a bad, awkward place when I say hello when I answer the phone. So I be challenging, no matter who's calling my phone, I challenge myself to say peace, because it's the best thing I could come up with. I don't even like the way that sounded, because I'm more in agreement with the energy that I'm conveying when I answer the phone by saying peace, because that's the energy that I want to convey. Even for myself, I know that I need to work on my peaceful nature. I know a lot of times I could be a little more hostile than I think is appropriate. I could be a little more edgy than I want to be. That I think my spirit is capable of a lot more peace than I think a lot of time I portray. And I think the words that I use have, even if just a 1% effect, those little 1%, if I can find a bunch of different areas where I'm a 1% affecting myself, then I can make a significant change. So just the greetings and things of that nature that we say repetitively is one of the areas where I'm challenging myself to speak in ways that feel good to my spirit, that allow me to just continue a harmonious type of vibe throughout my day. And that's, just kind of adding on to what you were saying about the days. That's just my contribution for myself.
So we lift up our glass for the present moment. Right now, the present moment we are on Imani family. We are in Imani. So I'm challenging you to activate your reticular formation and find where faith is active in our community, where faith is active in your life. Take pictures of it, post it up. You can post it up on Gye-Nyame Journey if you don't want to post it up on your timeline. You know what I'm saying? But we need to start demonstrating and showing where these principles are active in our lives, so we can start making this thing real. If we have an innate ability as human beings to seek out what it is that we need, or to focus on what we're hunting, I'm challenging you on this day to find where faith is. So on this day, Imani, this is also the day of the modic principle of harmony. For the M7, which is basically a translation for the Nguza Saba, for a different reason. The word of the day is trust. The color is red. I got a little red right here. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? I didn't put on my red shirt because, like I said, I came in from the Divine Conversation. I wanted to jump on here with y'all. The Hermetic law today is gender. If you have never studied the Hermetic laws, go and check that out. Also, male energy today. The male name of individuals born on this day is Kwesi. Female name is Akasua. Right? So shout out, Kwesi. This is your day today, my friend. So we lift up our glass and we salute and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our future generations, right? Everything that we're working towards. So we toasting them in advance. You know what I'm saying? We toasting them and to acknowledge our responsibility and laying a foundation upon which they can stand so they can pour for us. So we lift up our glass and we salute those unborn generations. We salute those young ones right now. We salute them on to infinity, and we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From their family, where do we go? We go to all of our relations, right? I'm lifting up my glass to all my relations. I'm saluting all my relations, and we say, Ashe. From there, this is where we get to the selfish part, because I got a lot of people around me working for everybody else. Family, I'm going to challenge you to lift up your glass and toast yourself. Toast and ask for what you need, because during this ritual, during this ceremony, however you want to look at it, every morning or every day, we're calling on the Creator and the ancestors. And I'm telling you, when we call, they come. So they're here. What is it that you need in your life? What roadblocks do you need help overcoming? Not just moved out your way, but overcome. You know what I'm saying? What wisdom do you need? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it in now. I'm holding up my glass for you because this is a real glass. This glass heavy as hell. So I need y'all to know. Go on, get the toast in quick. All right? Get it? I had to switch hands. We say, Ashe. From there, where do we go? Family, the place that we go is, right now I want to toast the most powerful and the most beautiful being in the room. This is from me to you. I'm toasting the most powerful and beautiful being in the room that make these shows possible by y'all support and consistent effort to show up. I want to salute you, so we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. And with that, I wish you peace, power, and joy. And we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I just believe the ancestors like the clinging of that glass. So we done did the toast. Now we can get into some fun conversation. So I'm looking up WBR FM, and I'm going to look and get in contact with them, see what's going on. They say they looking for presenters. I don't know what. Go ahead. Yeah,
I just want to clarify real quick. I realize that I might have sounded kind of crazy.
When?
Mourning means sadness. When we say mourning, we speak in sadness. And
right.
Wake is a party after a funeral. I just realized what I said.
Wow.
But they're spelled different. One is M-O-U-R-N. The other one is M-O-R-N.
Right, so they sound the same. And spoken vibration, like everything in existence is vibration. Is everything is vibration. And so the spoken vibration is indistinguishable.
Okay.
Family, I think I got a winner here. It is here. This ambrosia.
No, you know what? I said okay, because sometimes what we find ourselves doing in our intellectualism is we'll try to intellectualize somebody's intellectualism. And then, we don't need to like batter like that. And so from where he was coming from, I can take that and run with it. I may not totally, but about the vibrations, I totally agree. So I was like, okay, I'll take that.
No, what I was talking about when I said we got a winner here, I'm talking about this ambrosia that I'm holding in my hand. This apple, this seasonal. This is the truth here. I'm letting people know. So I wonder what would happen if I let it sit for about 5 days. Anyway,
I'll be over at 5.
Well, if you come into the crib, you ain't got to wait no 5 days because I sip on my stuff right away, and that's the way I want everybody to taste it, because the whole piece is my goal is not only to be able to provide people with bottles, you know what I'm saying, but to also make sure that we have enough people in our community that's able to produce this. Because like I said, one of the things that I do understand about culture is that when you look into mythology, every culture got a staple, right? Something that they're able to create from the beginning to the end. And I'm like, for me, family, I'm looking pretty hard at this stuff that I'm brewing and the food that we growing, because you can't build a society that don't produce its own food. You can't. Any society that is totally subservient to other cultures, to other societies for their food imports is not a sovereign country. You can't be talking sovereign shit if you ain't out here touching that soil and getting your food from your group. It don't exist. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you go straight out into nature and just live in nature with your family by yourself, it don't exist. So we got to come up with staples that are able to not only nourish us, but also that can provide a means of exchange between us, whether it's currency or whether it's actual things, other things of value that we could start exchanging, because that's the blood flow of a nation. We look at money as just money, but what money represents is the flow of life force in a country. That's what they're monitoring. When you're looking at the Dow Jones, you're looking at the blood pressure of the United States. When you look at the actual currency and how it's flowing, you're looking at the blood flow of the United States and the health of the United States. And when you look at every other country, you look at their stock market, you're looking at the blood pressure. And when you look at what's actually happening, you see the blood flow of their currency. Just trying to let somebody else joined us on the line. Who is that? And welcome to the congregation of the mighty. What's going on?
Hey, it's all day, every day.
Oh, Allende? Allende?
Ashe.
Is Ashe? I thought you said your name was Allende.
Yeah, and every day. Hey, Fred still on the line?
Yeah, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Brother, man, I need to talk to you after we get off of here.
I'm here. We should meet up and go over there and get us a bottle. Somebody keep on talking about they bottle.
Yeah. I tell you over here, but I get a free bottle. Nah, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
Congregation of the mighty, bro.
I hope y'all.
Wait,
hold on. I hope the family out there was paying attention. Allende says that he get a free bottle, but it's actually not a free bottle because it's exchange for something that Allende does for the tribe.
All the time.
You understand what I'm saying? So we already.
And that's why I want to talk to Fred too, because I got some classes and stuff, and then also, but anyways, nigga, put your big lips closer to the mic.
If I put
really, you should cut the mic down so it don't crack.
When Allende walk in there, you know how to do. Pack up the piano and leave.
Put a sock on that motherfucker. Scoot up so I can.
Man, now thank you for letting me know, but I got to keep my lips a certain distance away. Comedy is part of culture. You know what I'm saying? If I put my lips too close, I might break the phone. So I got to keep this expensive ass phone.
You got to treat it like Dolores. Replace the D with a C, my father.
So,
man, y'all through.
You're doing too much.
Hey, that's what the show is for, family. This is tribal talk. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all some deep ass mother. Hey, y'all deeper than the mother. I ain't mad at you. You know. And one thing that Fred said earlier is, dealing with the kids and understanding their language. We got to keep it shallow to get deeper, and that's what it is.
Right.
And we need to let them understand the design of Radio 1 around the world and around the country, and how they're subconsciously molding our children,
dude,
for failure.
Now check this out.
Or through rites of passage too early. Talking about pay for the pussy, pay for the pussy, pay for the all that bullshit, all that shit. When you have a healthy conversation and you make it appropriate, then therefore it's not taboo. It's just something that happens. It's just something that is.
Now, but during the rites of passage process, what is taboo? Because we're teaching individuals how to sustain the culture.
Rites of passage for us, what is taboo is to take our kids out into the woods to lead their ass and tell them to find their ass back home. We don't have that land. That's what's taboo, and that's what should be.
But
for them to survive and for them to take a day or two or three or work together or whatever, we don't have this.
But hold on, time out. That. I will kind of combat that because you're right. We don't have the land.
What we do have is like Quasi. We have energy where some motherfuckers want to be directed in the right way to fuck some shit up. To display and to let this energy out in a way that will come back to us in a righteous way. Or an unrighteous way.
I come in peace.
Who?
I know you will. I'm going to come with a peace. I'm going to come with a peace.
Nigga, I fell out with 3 motherfuckers about you in this whole fake peace shit. Go on with that. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Quincy talking about he come in peace. This nigga, listen.
Quincy's ass is high strung than a motherfucker.
Y'all gonna make me start singing Kumbaya? I'll do it.
That's how I met him. And he's real high strung. He's a thinker. He's a thinking man. So that's why he's very high strung. That's why I love him.
Now,
I know him. I love him. He's a high strung motherfucker. And he know he is because he's confident in what he can do and his abilities. I understood him when I seen him. I was like, this man. When I met him, he was trying to fuck Kojo's ass the fuck up. We had to talk him down. I don't give a fuck who listening.
Well, yeah, we do have beef in our community, but we still love each other. Now, but check this out.
Love is like this. Love is like do the right thing. I love you or I motherfucking hate you. If I put this hate on your ass, I'm going to put this hate on you. But now I'm going to have to put this love on your ass because I had to hate you. Remember that shit? Remember Radio Raheem? Remember that shit? Remember the catalyst of the whole movie?
We all old, man. Movie? Everybody but Kwame. He might not remember that shit, but we remember that shit with them big-ass, ugly, gaudy rings. On this hand, I got love. And on this hand, I got hate.
He ain't seen the shit. I don't know if they got brown movies, but we can explain it. You do that. You tell him what the fuck happened. He heard
blind movies. You a fool. Blind movies.
They do got them. They do have them because Kwame went with us to see.
That's disrespectful.
But hey. Now,
you got some blind movies out here.
Fuck y'all.
It called radio shows. But hey, addressing your point about taking kids out.
Damn.
About taking kids out and not only kids, because I want people to understand that we a long time ago in our community have come to the term and come to the fact that rites of passage is an ongoing process. So we have different stages and people have to repeat or go through other rituals and ceremonies to come of age. One of those offshoots, of course, of that is Gye-Nyame journey because we have to form organizations around new ideas. So now one of the things that we do in Gye-Nyame is we do this thing called, y'all get ready for this, it's called Amblecha, Vision Quest, where a young person is taken out, they're left by themselves overnight, and they have to deal with whatever comes.
I'm calling children's services.
Yeah, you call them, because I be having, I got parents, I got permission. Listen.
Where you leaving their ass? In the woods or Livingston or where?
Well, not the city woods. You know, we got places. We got places. I'm not going to reveal all those places, but we got places where we're able to do that. And then we also have exercises where we take young people out and have them have to retrace their way back to the peace. Because just because we don't have land don't mean we can't do that. Also. Also, as part of our mythology, one of the future things that is going to be enacted for the Gye-Nyame journey for the whole tribe is I want to have what's called a warrior dance, where I want drummers, I want the community to come out, and I want a select group of dancers that are going to dance all night to simulate escaping out of the oppression of slavery and moving towards freedom. There's a certain way they have to go around the fire because there's going to be a dance around the fire for over maybe about 12 to 13 hours where we are pushing people. Because we got to have ways, because the issue with a lot of our young men that chase them away from the church and other things is that there is no challenging things there. It's not challenging to go to church and hear some of those services. It's not challenging.
How many hours?
12? From sunset to sunrise, depending on the time of year, it's going to be anywhere from 8 hours to possibly, if we ever do it in wintertime,
6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours. Continuous.
Now, in the last 1 or 2 hours, with these young men? Is there a reward? Like, is there going to be some women there, some girls, some young girls? Like, the kid, like
time out. Nigga, if it was gonna be that shit, would you say it on air? But no, there is no tricking going off afterwards.
I ain't say tricking. If it's rites of passage, so listen, look.
But yo, young ladies can participate in the dance too.
In these youths and teenagers' lives, to where they need to be introduced correctly to the opposite sex.
That's true.
They gonna do it anyway. Why motherfucker keep a lion in a cage when you can all give him free range and teach him how to be or her to be?
Or, yeah, because it is some. Because you know who do all the hunting when you talk about lions? It's them women, and we're running into them.
Yeah, they do. Women make gangsters.
Oh my God,
women develop gangsters. Women are hard in the motherfucker. Men, we happy-go-lucky than the motherfucker. That's why Greek motherfuckers and these niggas out in the woods and hunting and shit is ass fuckers. But anyways,
oh my God. Oh my God.
That's just my theory.
Oh my
But anyways, if we can do something ritually like that, because I know certain rhythms. There is a rhythm. There's a rhythm for death and rebirth, and then there's also a rhythm for it was called indentured servitude, from where you have to pay a debt and then now you're free from it.
Now,
and there's always a reward. There's always a goal that you're working towards.
Now, one of the rewards. Now, first off, what you got to understand is that a lot of young people that come to us have a different mind state. Just being able to participate in something that is respected and being able to push themselves is a reward, but also part of it is a whole community piece, because not only are they dancing, they're being seen dancing by the community that's going to be there, because this is why I'm trying to get the camp so people can understand it's a family thing, because I want people to look at this and be like, I'm going to do that shit next year, right? Because I'm going to explain another part of it. Then also,
so the terminology needs to be changed.
Now, hold on. Not only that, but the musicians are going to play all night. Certain community members are going to be involved. And then on top of that, after they get done, we're going to have a community feast in all those that completed successfully in their honor. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole piece is 6 to 8 hours on your feet, moving and dancing and moving to the rhythm and doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do within that time period is exhausting. So our kids get to safely test their limits. See, and for men, a lot of times, and even some women, that is enough. You know what I'm saying? What is the reward for these motherfuckers to get out here and run 26 miles? There is no reward. It's the fact that you was able to do that shit.
It's only exhausting when you stop, if you're doing it correctly. But
now, and also, and here's a prime idea behind that. So, with the amblacha, when I started to incorporate it, this was like a 5-year process, because I went through the amblacha myself. I don't know if Quasi was at the camp when I did the amblacha, but I went and I did an amblacha myself, and I purposely asked for them to make mines longer. It's crying for a vision. It's a vision quest. You cry for a vision, and I made mines longer than what I would allow the kids to do. So I went through mines, I suffered through mines, and I fasted 3 days before I actually did mine. So when I said, all right, now it's time for us to start doing it, the first person I tagged for it was Cleve. Cleve will be the first one to go out by himself. So I'm on for the community and for the tribe right now, I want y'all to see how serious I am about this. So they was watching Cleve the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Cleve gave up hope. He was crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to do it, but then he didn't want to do it. And then it started getting chilly and it started raining. And he refused to put on a jacket because he said, I'm going to get wet all night anyway. And everybody like, oh, hot temper. I said, y'all stay away from me with that sad shit. We going to march his ass up out here. He's about to do this journey. And he went out and he successfully did it. And what that did, that sparked 2 more that we had to set up a camp that wanted to go out themselves. See, so the first warrior dance, need to be, as you call it, the old fucker society.
Old fuckers fraternity.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have to do it first. You gonna have to do all of them until you get some of these young people able to play those rhythms for that amount of time. See, because what we're doing is we're testing the endurance and the support capabilities of our community by bringing people together to provide the music, to provide the food, to provide the feast, to provide the support all night long for these individuals who dare to simulate running for their freedom.
Ashe.
I know somebody out there gonna try to steal my shit, but it all originate with
nobody steal your shit if we are rooted in it and we live in it. Can't nobody steal shit. All they gonna do is join or communicate with us. Fuck two people steal that. But I gave many people their ass and they ain't give me my ass back, so they can't steal it. I still got my ass.
So
damn. Can't think about it like that. Another thing is, our goal is to become meditative and a trance type state, to where we will endure, to where we finish the goal that we have to in our mind to accomplish.
There you go. Hence the rhythm and Quasi. That's what praise and worship is for. It's supposed to get those emotions moving. They're not moving the right emotions in you. You see what I'm saying? But we have to take, because what we got to understand that these worship services that we are going to are not modern things. If you go from one,
they're not for men.
No.
They're for these women.
No, wait. I would challenge that. I would challenge that because at one point in time, you had a bunch of men that would go to church, but something happened where the masculinity in some of the rituals and some of the events were totally stripped out, and the only man that was able to be the only man that was able to be respected in that context was the pastor and Jesus.
Yeah.
Which became problematic for a man, because I'm not gonna go somewhere with my woman and she is either
you worship a motherfucker more than me.
There you go.
Just for women, all women.
So, but the design of the service is not recent. The design of the service, regardless of where they go into with if you look at the order of the service and you go back and you look at ancient manuscripts and you look at ancient rituals, it's the exact same thing. All we got to do is throw some male energy up into those and use them for where we want the people to go. Because the whole idea of the church was to move the culture forward. But we got to realize that when we go to some of these worship services,
I'll be right back. Hold on.
We have to be aware that when we go to some of these worship services, whose culture is being moved forward by the service. And when you realize whose culture is being moved by the service, you can look around and you can have a better understanding of it. Because right now, a lot of these church services are not meant or designed to move our culture forward. A lot of them don't even know that the religious aspect of a culture is to move and to rally up the protection and the maintenance of the culture. Religion, actually, you know what's crazy, when you really look at it? Culture is religion. We just got over here and we forgot it. Because if you look at you know how they say in ancient societies we didn't really have religions? Life was a religion, but there was rituals around that. There were music around that. The culture was this thing that we pulled out and we isolated and we put it in the church. And because people don't recognize that is an everyday thing, that's the culture, where you're supposed to bring your tribe together and celebrate your cultural heroes and celebrate the myths and remind yourself about the myths and allow the children to hear about the myths of the resurrection and the overcoming of the enemy and the slaying of the dragon. That is culture. But a lot of people got it fucked up. We was, you know what I'm saying? We was Christians. We was Islam, boom, boom, boom. We was this before that. If it is not plugging into the culture, it is not who we are. This is how you know that our traditions, our spiritual traditions, were not religions, but the culture. Right? This is how you know. Because we never proselytized.
I think the main aspect of what the whole process of, one of the main aspects of what the whole process of the flow of the service, because it is just like the introduction. You start it, you welcome everybody, then you kind of bring the spirit in, then you give the message, and then you close it off. Or, you know, I guess you allow people to express their intentions to be part. You know, that might be something more like when you bring your son and introduce him as ready for the next
there you go.
rite of passage, you know,
right.
leading down in the woods. You know what I'm saying? But really, what that shit is all about, man, I know so many, like, I grew up in the church. So many, I know the main dude that will be singing the song had babies with hella women in the church. Because that shit get everybody going. That shit get everybody in there good. Everybody ready to fuck after church. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. That's what life is all about. So our shit is just dumbed down, man. We want to take, like, we got this, we had to strip away all of the truth, all the real shit away from it. And we live in this docile culture. And it's docile because we a part of it. Like, that kind of, I don't know, man, it's hard for me to contain the conversation. I want to expand it to something we was talking about last time.
Go on, man. We was open mic.
Huh?
Gone. We on open mic, dog. I done did the toast. The ancestors is satisfied.
We don't be scared about you around your peers. Don't be scared to talk.
We was talking about all of these movies that's about to come out. That's how the way the movies is flowing, and it seems to be some type of black power movement that's happening through the movies. And you could always kind of tell what's happening through the movies, because the last time that I kind of remember a real big push of black movies pushing us in a certain direction was like the early 90s. I mean, I know there's been all kind of, we had the soul food generation of movies too, but the one that really stuck out in my mind is the Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood generation. At the same time, the crack, well, I guess it hadn't just came out, but it was just really getting going. The crack epidemic, prison industrial complex, and gangster rap was coming out, and that was the direction that they were pushing us in. So what's going on right now in this moment? Like, it seems as if there's a certain energy that's being put out for black people to feel. And why is that? It's almost seems like we being uplifted for some reason. Are we being set up for a fall? Are we being, you know, what's happening right now? We need to really talk about that shit, because we can't allow, we're once again allowing our emotional content to kind of be dictated to us instead of putting out where we at and where we want to be.
Now check this out.
Now what's happening is the karma is becoming, or the sankofa is being reciprocated. You're recognizing that. Even the world is recognizing it through the ancestors and the spirits. And okay, it's time for us to, you know, raise our voice up and everything like that. Wakanda comes out, a couple other things. We've all experienced some type of religious situation or whatever in our life and everything. Like, I'm 53. I don't know how old you are, but we've come around to at least appreciating the fact that we have a higher being, a higher being that we can worship to, so that when we go out and fight on that battlefield, we got a higher being that we're worshiping to. I don't want to worship a color or anything like that. I know I got a spirit. So the world is starting to recognize that sankofa that's coming out in our spirits, and our ancestors is moving that too. I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing that.
Now, but I'm gonna challenge you on that. But go ahead. I'm gonna challenge that line of thinking. But go ahead.
Yeah, because I think it's really setting us up for the woo, man. Like, the perfect example is I went to watch the movie The Hate You Give. I don't know if y'all seen the previews for that. The Hate You Give, Thug. It's the acronym for Thug. And it's the Tupac. And it's the longer piece is the Hate You Give, Little Infants, Fuck Everybody. Thug Life. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what that whole thing was born out of. So it was about a kid who got a girl who was going to a suburban high school, but she lived in the hood, and she was pretty detached from the setting where she lived. But she ran into a dude that she grew up with, and since then, like literally, they was in the bathtub taking baths together when they was infants. But then they kind of got distant from each other, and then they met up again at a party. He took her home, and he ended up getting shot by the police. And that's only the first 10 minutes of the movie, so I ain't spoil it for nobody if you still want to check it out. That's the whole basis of the movie. But the thing of it is, I also read the book because actually I met Miss Tiandra from being on one of these shows with you, Tim, and I was doing the program with her, and that was actually the curriculum for the program is the book, and then we went to take them to the movie. So the book and the movie are pretty like once you get halfway through the movie, the second half of the movie is utterly different than the book, completely. Even there's characters missing, different characters do different things. It's completely different. And what it came to my attention that I looked at it like this. The main character of the movie, the girl, her name is Star. It's kind of like she was telling two different stories. On one hand, the movie is her telling a story to white people to kind of get white sympathy. And really, you kind of walk away, especially after having read the book first, you walk away from the movie feeling like white people kind of got caught up with hard being white and having to see these black people go through this. It's like, woe is me. You know what I mean? It's like a black struggle movie made to make white people feel bad. Or not even feel bad, to feel like they need a hug type shit. But the book is gangster. The book is way raw. Like the book, you walk away like, I'm ready to go fuck somebody up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, the movie to me was like a cheap. It was cheap. I felt ripped off. I felt like my experience got taken from me. But way more people gonna see the movie than read the book.
Oh yeah, that's what.
What you say, Day?
You wasted 2 hours of your life.
Pretty much, yeah.
That bullshit.
That shit was crazy, and we had the kids because we more critical. We dissect information more critically, especially that's just what we do. You know what I'm saying? But like young people, and it is a good movie. It's emotional. That shit brought a tear to my eye. And I ain't gonna lie, it's like the emotional part of the movie. It's not until you walk away and start thinking about it. Like, wait a minute, hold up, that was, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, now hold on, wait, hold on. Allende, hold on. Allende, hold on. We got a Mark Cook. Mark Cook said we will never come together as a whole. That's why we will never be as strong as we could be. The church was to control black people. Just a thought.
It was given us when we came here in slavery in the Congo Square and in the South. They gave us Sundays to congregate because we was too strong, and they took away our music and our culture. Yes, and they gave us Negro spirituals in church. And,
they didn't give us that. I'm challenging you on that shit.
Mark Cook tripping. Mark Cook ain't. I don't ride with that nigga. I don't know who the fuck that is that said that dumb shit. I hate when people say
he got some relevance in that. That's relevant.
Mark, I love you. Fuck what they saying, Mark. Thank you for commenting.
Make points with my words, but Mark Cook, I challenge you to find a way to say that shit different, man. Stop saying what we never gonna be.
You can't control nobody, man.
Let him talk to his mentee, man. Let him talk to his mentee. That's his mentee, obviously. He got a relationship with him. Let him handle his relationship. The question, I don't be yelling at your ass like that online either, though. But he got a point.
Hey, let people do it. It take all kinds. It take all types.
I understand that, but man, at the same time, we can't be. How we going to expect ourselves to get better, and then at the same time, and I apologize. Well, actually, I appreciate the opportunity to
we are the congregation of the mighty. Okay. You talking to me? You are the light. We are your peers. Whether I'm older than you, or you younger than me or not, you are a peer of mine. You are strong. You possess a certain strength. Okay? Some motherfuckers need to follow something. You have peasants and you have kings and you have all kinds of types of other motherfuckers. Don't judge them. Let them play their role and let them say what they need to say. Don't give your energy off like that, brother. It's a waste of motherfucking time if you feel like that.
Unless that's one of your Padawans, sometimes you need to check them. But hey, now, cause the piece that I'm understanding him saying is what I hear him saying is, see, cause this is the issue that we have with the concept of unity and coming together. Black folks, take another look at unity. You have a perfect model of unity, and it's called your body. The eyes do a certain thing, the nose do a certain thing, the cells in your body do certain things, the stomach do certain things, the lungs do certain things.
That's the second brain. There we go right there.
Hey, hold on. You're making it. You're making it too complicated.
Our digestive system.
You make it.
We eat and then what we take in and what gives us energy.
Hold on. I'm not on that. You sound like you selling ambrosia, nigga.
Is you ambrosia, whatever? But yeah, go ahead. My fault. I didn't mean to
sound like niggas selling ambrosia. That was the ambrosia commercial. He talking about the microbiome, which is a whole nother. It's a whole nother system, and we have all these different systems that interact to make sure that the body works as a whole. When one of the systems start defunctioning, that body starts deteriorating. So we don't.
Yesterday, you was talking about the stomach and what you put in it. If it's upset, your whole body's upset. Just like the warrior that got a motherfucking thorn in his foot. If your feet hurt,
your body.
You better try to tackle somebody and fight them, because your whole body gonna hurt.
So the point is that there is a unity happening. But a lot of times we can't recognize it because we want the unity to be like the fucking Lakers. We all got on gold jerseys. We all got numbers. When in fact, fuck the Lakers, we're the league. We got a whole bunch of teams that might be going against each other, but ultimately the league benefits from that shit. So yeah, we got the church over there, but then we got young people like you, Mark Cook, who have picked up the cloth and said, listen, I believe in this, but I do understand there's a higher level of this, because there's those churches out there. We got people in schools that are picking up the books to go and teach the kids, but they understand their role. And the piece is, unity is not us all agreeing on the particulars. It's us agreeing on the general end. You understand what I'm saying? So, brother, yeah, there are churches, but the big churches you get to see, but there's a lot of small churches that you miss. I was a member of a church called ASAC.
Yeah.
The pastor died, but his whole vision was about unity of black people and using that whole church environment to build a community. And you have other pastors out there like that. And like I said, so we don't want to get caught up into why we are never going. I mean, because that's some strong ass words. So what you're saying, and I want you to be clear on this, what you're saying is that you might as well lay it down, because no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying, it'll never work. And I want people that think like this to be very careful, because what you're doing is because we just got done doing a toast, you're putting a curse on the future generations.
So,
and if you got kids, I
feel you.
If you got kids, somebody need to knock your ass down. Because I refuse.
I look at it as lower class and higher class spirituality. Those that need to join and be in the church community, who feel like they have more community and have a higher class about themselves, to me, are lower class. And those who have spirituality and practice, though, that and can go to a church or go to a mosque or go to you can go to these different factions, have a higher class about themselves, because it all comes to the same thing. Some folks need to check their crazy ass because they fucked up in the brain, so they need that shit. They need to involve themselves into some shit, and they want to, and ultimately, at the end of the sentence, they want to be white, and they love white, and they love the circumstances that's going on in this country, as far as monetary money, which is an illusion. You know, money don't last it goes up and down. It's nothing but a promissory note for you to exchange your currency in gold, silver, something that's a commodity that will appreciate, land or whatever else. It's a promissory note to say, look, when I go here and exchange this promissory note for my gold, I'll pay you back. Or you can take this and you go get the shit yourself. That's what it's about. And the church is the same thing. The church, and they have a community which is grounded in a lot of like Trump. They say one thing and do another. Like, they ain't celebrating Halloween, but they having a harvest fest and everybody can motherfucking dress up in a costume. The fuck is that? Halloween. And they're giving out candy. Yeah. So, if you get the joke, then you understand the riddle.
If you realize it's a joke, you don't have to take it as seriously, because really, family, it's like this. You ain't gotta
waste your energy on it and get yourself upset.
Because I'm like, yo, man. But wait a minute, time out. We do need some of these. We need some of y'all to be upset. You know what I'm saying?
We need everybody. It take all kind. It take all type.
Right. Because the whole piece for us, when we say stuff like "we will never," and if you have children, that's irresponsible. And that's treason, right? We got to start really being clear with motherfuckers. I want you to understand what you're saying sometimes when we say we will never or we can't. That's treason. That's denying the abilities of your people. That's turning your back on your people. And we got to be able to start calling that shit out. When we get politicians in there and say shit like, I'm not the mayor or the president or this of black people. I am of the country. Motherfucker, that's treason. You black first. Fuck that. And that's what we got to get to. It's black first. So when we have pastors, if they're not teaching black first, then we, boom. I'm not going to dog your church or your congregation. I got some other food for them. So maybe I might get one or two of your congregation members to come and toast with us on a daily basis. Those that's interested in toasting, join the Black Signal at 614-300-1875. See, that's how you do a goddamn commercial. All right, but go ahead.
I don't talk in my commercials, motherfucker. I'll play the drums or something. But don't hold me to that. I ain't mad at you. So, I ain't a commercial. I'm a lifestyle.
And now,
no, but what it does show is in the struggle that we all are brethren from different sorts and knowledges and everything, and that's what we need, because this is not just a like you world. This is different, diverse. We're a diverse people. We're some.
Yeah, and guess what? Awesome that we need if you fuck a white bitch, you're gonna have a nigga in their understanding. So I ain't in no struggle. I ain't struggling. My struggle is my mentality. My struggle is what Tim would define as my spirituality, my relationships with others. Shit, we got motherfuckers living out in the woods, and if I got some wood and you got a motherfucking some traps and you got a fireplace, I could exchange some wood for some traps, because you got some extra traps so I can feed my family through the winter. We got we got folks that's existing like that. You know what I'm saying? And we stuck in a mundane ass like we trying to save everybody, man. We could
man, it ain't gonna be that many of us, man. That's the thing. Like, I don't agree with that shit when people say you can't make. I'm not trying to make nobody be like me. Like, I am an understander of the nature of astrology, and like I don't boil that shit down to no zodiac, because that's daily horoscopes, all that bullshit. I understand that just like there's the daily horoscope, man. People think you can read your horoscope and know what your day gonna be like. Nah, that's doing too much. But you can respect the fact that summer happens around the same time every year. Winter happens, that there are cycles that are happening, that everything is going on as a part of a cycle. And when we came into the cycle, it can tell us a lot about ourselves. So obviously not everybody is the same. That shit goes without saying. But there are universal laws, man. There's 7 Hermetic principles. And I'm just saying it right now, so give me some time to look at it, and I can find why, through studying those principles, why saying that never is not a good good idea. Not only do wise people, and I don't even know who the person was. Part of me wants to kind of make that person feel accepted and be like, yo, just challenge him. But at the same time, part of me is
what
like,
are you talking about? What you focusing on? You said what now?
You know, like, what I was really going to say, the bottom line is, I don't argue with people that Harriet Tubman would have shot.
You don't argue with people that what?
Harriet Tubman would have shot.
I don't argue with people that Harriet Tubman would have shot. There's no point in arguing with people that Harriet Tubman would have shot. Like how Tim said, saying stuff that takes away responsibilities because they were treasonous. Because they were treasonous.
That trail is sacred. I feel like that's
taking away the possibility.
If she shot somebody, it'd probably be somebody white, and she was working. Somebody that was working for somebody white, and
exactly.
She was also. I feel like she was damn near in the goddamn army or some shit.
She was. She was a general.
She was a general. Yeah, she was buried in Arlington Cemetery.
Now,
Arminta Ross was buried in Arlington Cemetery, and she knew the waterways. So maybe if she shot him, the motherfucker would float down the river. I don't know.
Hey, but no, let me say this. But anyway, I want to go back. I want to go back to the movie piece before we move too far off of that, because family, this is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I want to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty. This is a Heart of a Simple production. We're still on the Daily Toast. Right now we're in an open discussion. It's a Heart of a Simple production. We strive to blow up your old paradigms.
And this is for us, and we are selfish in our motherfucking conversations.
Now, I want to go back to the movie piece, family. History is the best predictor of future actions. So if we listen to what Kwesi is saying about this new movie piece that we got coming on, we don't need to be fooled, family. Our ancestors, what we have to be able to do is to extract the message that we want to extract and make sure that message is funneled down to the children, because you best believe that these movies have not been put out here with any good ideas for us, because
I'm gonna tell you what I felt like did.
Hold on, we could see in the early 90s, and we also could see in the 70s. It's been 26 years since the last glitter movies, and I keep on telling you that the world works in cycles. So we are on another 20-year cycle where there's a consciousness coming, as Lady J often say. A great awakening happening, because we see a lot of people are being forced in a situation where now they have to think. So now I have to put out a glut of movies, and I got to make the people look like you so they could put your ass to sleep. Just like they did with the King of Wakanda at the end of that motherfucking movie.
To where when you fall in line with the fashion statement, because everybody with natural hair and who has natural clothes and stuff is not conscious. So once that fad moves on, then that's the way they make it. They make it like leather medallions and pro-righteous teachers and X-Clan and all of that. And once that fades out, the next thing takes over. Excuse me. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. So we got to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? We need, and
we do,
and we have to start guiding the conversation. So our elders didn't know this, because they already. I mean, talking about back in their day when it was our age, or maybe they did. But what we have the power to do is start shaping the conversation in our circles, in our tribes, which is what we're already doing. That's why we started this show talking about anime. But I don't want people to think that I'm just talking about anime. We need to be able to break down these movies. We need to be able to get the message out of it that we need, that will move us to another level, and stand by that shit and train our young people to stand by that shit.
Not to be fooled.
Not to be fooled. Because next thing you know, we'll have Jerry curls again.
Understanding on the radio and everything else as entertainment. Like they watching the Nutcracker, or like they watching motherfucking Superman. Because that shit ain't realistic.
Yeah, the only movie I can remember ever really seeing that really was food for real was A Spook That Sat by the Door. That's the only movie I ever seen that really. So like
you
Django
seen Sankofa?
Like I thought Django was an entertaining movie, but he was that 1 in 10,000 nigga. That was what you walk away from that movie. You know what I'm saying? It's not a collective thing. It's a 1 out of 10,000.
1 out of 1,000,000, dog.
Well, I'm with you. There's a lot of movies out there that are significant, whether they full of shit or not. A recent one.
Bingo along with the traveling
a lot of
all-star.
messaging is, and it's a cult classic, is Sorry to Bother You. You see that?
I haven't seen that one.
I gotta watch Sorry to Bother You. I feel like it's a cult classic.
Who is pissing while he on the mic?
You might not want to go off of my radar, off of my meter as far as movies, because another movie I feel like has a lot of significant meaning in it is Pootie Tang.
Of course, this nigga will say Pootie Tang. To the Sadate.
Look here.
You gotta elaborate on that one.
These niggas is rapping nowadays. What I say? On the summertime.
Yeah, elaborate, man. You gotta explain that one to me because I ain't seeing it right up.
Okay, so Pootie. First of all, the movie starts out. Pootie, a grown ass woman is throwing his toys out the window. He got a fur on, and he don't understand that. But the thing is, the whole message through the movie was his dad giving him righteousness and that belt, that buckle that he had on. Now, when he got older, everybody loved him because he was righteous really in his mind. And he fought bullets with his ponytail. Now, his number one fan stayed on the corner and people thought she was a hoe, but she wasn't. She was just his cheerleader and his fan because she knew that he was a beautiful man. Now, what he gave up and what he did was he tried to make a white bitch feel beautiful in the country. I don't know how that happened, and he upset the family because he could have fucked her and had a kid, and that's another black kid in the family, and that's why these white folks are scared. But like the movie, if you watch it, it has a lot of it's comedy, and it has a lot of hidden messages in it that's just off the cuff. But you make sense of it on your own.
Right.
Your reality is not mine. Okay, my reality is not yours.
Well, we have
I just sew it up in a brief sentence. When you watch,
hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Shaka.
What's up?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. That's what y'all know. I was online.
Nigga, we know.
What is this?
That was Shaka.
Who that?
Shaka.
Who that? Pharaoh Shaka? Is that Pharaoh Shaka? Motherfather. But anyways, mother, father. Anyway, yeah. Sorry to Bother You is on a whole nother level as far as corporate life and chasing the motherfucking carrot on the stick in front of your motherfucking ass. You just chasing the motherfucking carrot. I mean, and it has something to do with that. But there's a lot of movies out there. When you look, if you change the way you look at it, then it will help you because us, meaning I feel like my peers, when we look at shit, we need to digest it and understand it and shit the shit out because we're going to deal with a kid that's living that shit and feels like that's wrong. I say, look, we got to have a conversation. And we don't, with kids, you don't try to make them into, gone are the days to beat your kid and tell the motherfucker that way I'm up. No, we need to win the conversation standing. And if they don't want to understand it, or don't, if you lose the conversation, then fuck on, we have more kids, man.
We talking about some like movies that's dropping gems and really illustrating.
Hold on, we can't just. That was some savage ass shit you just said I am. Just let that. God damn! What is this? Hold up.
He said start another family. You fuck up, just go out and start. Just start another family.
That's how I talk. I'm my father's son. I am my. All right. That's how you talk to me. But yeah, hear me now. Listen later, brother.
Sadate. Go ahead, Shaka.
You can flip it. And when she wake up, she be like, who the fuck else she do that to? I mean, that's life. It's like it's a problem. I mean, come on, baby, come on. And hate your ass. And be mad and grudgeful. And have a problem.
Hey, who seen Claudine?
Yeah. You talking about the nurse?
I ain't start watching movies till 1987, nigga. I ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, she was.
She was a welfare mama.
But she was a nurse.
Not in the movie.
What's her name?
Diane Carroll. Maybe.
Diane Carroll.
No.
Yeah, nigga, she was a fucking nurse, wasn't she?
She wasn't no.
She was a nurse's aide. What was she?
She was a maid.
Okay, to me, she was a motherfucking nurse. Okay, that's cool. She was nursing. As a maid, she was nursing in my bed.
I don't know. All right, so yeah. Oh man. So when you look at Claudine and the relationship between her and James Earl Jones,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was nurturing, wasn't it?
No, listen to what I'm saying, man. I'm talking about the cycle. I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about the process.
Okay.
The whole movie was like, yo, I mean, without the system, if they wanted to be together, they just would have been together. But because the system,
I got you.
You follow me?
I got
system
you.
Is like, yo, nah, you owe child support to your real kids. And you can't have no man up in here giving you shit, and we giving you shit. Right? So it shows the whole divide and why some of us know people, I'll just put it like that, that make decisions based on that, survivalhood.
And image.
Yeah.
We black folks make decisions off of image, which take over our emotions. So we can't feel we making decisions off of my sneakers and how I'm dressed, or my status around this false image in our society. And this ain't living. This shit right here ain't living. The shit that we in ain't living. These roads, this car, the gas, our mortgage, our rent, our Kroger's.
This ain't living.
This shit ain't living, bro.
No.
But we know nothing else.
Inflation.
There you go. Say it 3 times. You got my attention. What,
motherfucker? Claudine is 50 years old. The movie is 50 years old, and the dilemma is still the same.
I mean, we okay.
Send that boy up.
Colors is, I know, we can name several movies that's like that.
Let's do it then. That's entertaining. I hit you with another one. Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars.
Make me wanna
Bingo Long.
Harlem. The preacher, but with the what? Let's go on. What you want to say? I mean, come on now.
The Last Dragon.
Earl and I. Come on, the athlete that gets killed. I mean, what? I mean, come on. What you? I mean, we name the old movie.
Lady Sing the Blues.
Yeah. Okay, so what is this establishing? We are easily fooled, and the patterns have been consistent.
Oh yeah, we know the pattern have been consistent. The only motherfuckers that ain't been consistent is us.
Yeah. We're the butt of the joke.
Oh wow! Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that. Wait, hold on. I got that. Say that. I need to record that. Wait, hold on. Say that again. Say it.
Yeah, as a joke. We the butt of the joke because we don't get the riddle. You don't understand. If you don't get the joke, you don't understand the riddle. I always say this.
We are the butt of the joke.
Riddles are complex, and you have to think about them. A joke is instantaneous. instantaneous and it always changes. And you can be the butt of it. And that's what we are.
A constant changing array of comedic actions.
Like, I'ma fuck your bitch. Nigga, I'll take your woman. You know, this gives me status. Nigga, this gon' give me status. I will fuck your bitch and she loves me. I will take her from you. Not take care of her when you're away. It was a time when I say I'll be back. And nigga, it might take 3, 4 to 6 months. Because I'm walking from Atlanta to Columbus and back. And you know what? You had your family around you that would have your motherfucking back. That wouldn't fuck your woman. That would make sure she was cool and make sure your kids was. But now our culture and our music has taken that away from us because that's what they pay. That's what they pay you for. Saying, nigga, you leave, you ain't shit, I'm better than you, I'm gonna fuck your bitch. And that shit is nothing but a moment. You know, fucking a woman and circumstance and the grass being greener on the other side of the fence is nothing but moments.
And that's really what I was saying as far as the movies. Like, okay, I thought of one other one that is kind of like the spook that sat by the door that ultimately results in multiple people coming together to make something happen. The only other one I could think
of. He had a long-term plan. The spook who sat outside the door had a long-term plan. He was thinking long-term.
Think about Harlem Nights. Think about how and that movie was maybe even better because it was funny. It was even more entertaining. Like, and at the end, they all played their part and they all won. They
had community. They showed community, and they handled their shit together. But those was different times.
To get to the point where you actually doing things in an orderly fashion and you're sustaining an existence because of it. We have.
Yeah. But so look, back then, nigga shit. When nigga shit went down, when community shit went down, whether we shooting each other, whatever else, police didn't give a fuck. Now, when nigga shit go down and community shit go down, everybody going to jail. It's different times, man. Different motherfucking times, bro. Different times. Think about Muddy Waters. Think about motherfucking Cadillac Records. You know, Lil Walter, he see a truck, Lil Walter, somebody, he go around, shoot the motherfucker, and then drive right off and shit. They don't give a fuck. Nowadays, they'll put him in jail and his whole family if they wanted to, if they could. That was our community back then. We were segregated. We're not now. We're being attacked on every angle.
I challenge that shit too. Challenge! Nigga, we are segregated. I don't know what the fuck you talking about just because you go to a job or go to a school with somebody.
No, we're segregated. We're segregated and targeted. In our segregation, our shit in our segregation, arrest everybody or give us records or whatever the fuck else we can't handle our shit on. Because somebody white needs to come in and say we're fucking up. They're not helping us. And we don't help ourselves. We don't have the proper things in line to help ourselves and be self-sustaining.
I challenge that. Challenge.
We teaching that motherfucking Millennium School and being around them kids. I'm in school every motherfucking week, every motherfucking month. I'm in a different school, Upper Arlington. I was just at. I got a contract with Westerville Schools with this school called John Clark.
Hey.
I gotta write a contract right now on how much they
want. Hey,
what? Go ahead, what?
Listen. We never know who listening.
I'm gonna talk about the school. Fuck that shit.
We'll talk about the school, but don't talk about the intricacies of your contract.
I can't even teach my kids, because I don't got a motherfucking license through the Ohio Arts, through the motherfucking ODE, Ohio Department of Education. I can't even teach my children because I got a motherfucking conviction from 92. From 05 and 07, I got 3 convictions. Which is some bullshit. Petty shit, and I can't even get a teacher's license because I felt like I'm significant in these kids' lives, and I can't even be there to teach them kids and get health insurance.
I'm there too. I'm right there, but not in the same circumstances.
Yeah, fuck that shit. And you know what? It ain't take no sweat off me because I understood that, and I've been living that shit my whole life. So I'm just letting it out and letting it go.
Hey,
but at the same time, we doing our children an injustice because these white motherfuckers got to sanction who the fuck teaches our kids.
Wait, hey.
And they not teaching them, when they get a hold of them, they're disciplining them and funnel them dead straight to the correct.
I challenge all that.
You know, and the ones that want to teach
challenge.
That's why we need the Gye-Nyame Nation builders. That's why we need the Gye-Nyame rites of passage, because they destined to fail.
Now hold on. But that's success. See, what we got to understand, Allende, you say if you don't get the joke, you miss the rhythm. The joke is that the education system is working. We don't understand that because we're taking it serious because the motherfuckers talking about us. You know how it is when you get cracked on and you start getting serious, everybody else is laughing, and you like, I don't see why that shit's so funny. We are in the phase right now. We like, I don't see why everybody laughing. What's so funny about what this motherfucker's saying?
Hey, motherfuckers is laughing, I'm going to laugh with them.
Hold on.
Because they don't laugh at me.
These motherfuckers are educating our kids.
I can still teach my kids, but I can't get health insurance and get a paycheck. That's what's fucked up. That's what's fucked up with us. Kwanzaa and all this talking and all this shit, and we can't even produce a promissory note for each other.
Hey, you know what?
In our written code, we cannot do that.
Right, but let me tell you this, man. There are black societies that are thriving right now. The piece of the matter is, though, is that if we don't follow the process that they follow, then on some...
Who follow?
What's that?
You said what now? You sound like a reverend in the church, man. What'd you say?
Man, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm trying to hear you.
Can you hear me?
I heard you. I just want to hear it again to make sure I got clarity.
All right, let me see.
I feel like you need to sing it.
I gotta wait for you to get your last giggle out, and then.
Yeah. I'm laughing. Laugh with me.
Shouts out to Rashid. What's up, little bro?
I done forgot what I was saying and shit.
You was telling us about these fictional black communities that are out there thriving.
There are black societies in America that are thriving. The whole piece of the
Give me one. Give me one. I want to hear one. Hold on. Allende, hold on, because I'm going to do you just like I do Lady J. I'm not going to let you slide with that shit. Give me one so that my listeners... Hold on, Allende. Give me one so that my listeners can look this shit up and know that this is some shit that's real.
It is real.
Where? Give me one. I'm tired of you niggas living in the magic. Give me the receipts, nigga. I don't want to hear this. This shit is real, and all of us just supposed to agree with that shit. Where are there black communities in the United States that are thriving? I want to know.
How many white friends do they have?
Man,
you asking some shit that don't make no goddamn sense. I ain't asking that. I want to hear about these communities. I want one. Give me one that my people get on Google right now and find.
Community. Go ahead. Where's the community?
Cause Lady J hit me with that shit. I want receipts.
Motherfucking city down in Florida, the little football shit. What are you talking about?
Hey. Let me say what I'm saying so that you understand what it is.
We impatient. We black people.
But hold on, Shaka. Hold on. Hey, hold on. Everybody chill out for a second. Hold on. All right, family, listen. Sprinkler, I'm going to have to let you go because my machine is not charging as fast and it's running out of batteries. I'm having a good conversation, so if you want to continue with the conversation, hey, Allende, hold on. If you want to continue the conversation, hit us up at 614-556-4535, or you go over to the Facebook page, Gye-Nyame Journey. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Periscope. All right. Peace out, Spreaker.
Love about her.